Hello everyone and welcome to the last time that we're going to call this Thursday live lesson. My name is Aldrine. Joining me are these two fine gentlemen, Mr. Aaron the Voice Nakamura, say yo.
Yo.
And Mr. Kahai the Legend Fergan, say what?
Are we really going on that? What?
And yeah, this is Thursday live lesson. We answer any and all of your questions. You send us questions, we answer them. If we don't have questions, we're just gonna talk story. Maybe we'll talk about ukulele, maybe not. I don't know. Just come along with the ride. It's fun. We have fun. It's live. It is Thursday live lesson. So if you guys want, you can communicate with us and you can ask us questions live and stuff, or just see how Kahai is doing. Whatever. We just have fun, right, Kahai? That's what people like to say, right? Let's just go and have some fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a fun podcast.
People say that.
No, but for real, hang out with us, ask us questions, talk story. That's really all it is, because that's what we like to do here at Ukulele on the Ground. We like to help out people with their ukulele, or just help in general, right? Like help people out on like what stocks to get, right, Kahai? Like some financial help if people want,
I think
we cannot give out financial advice.
No.
Gotta put that like little
legal disclaimer
words on the bottom of the screen.
None of this is financial advice or medical advice.
Yeah, please
take it at your own risk.
Yeah, take it your all the recipes that I do, really eat it at your own risk. Ukulele advice. Yeah, I guess you could say that we kind of know what we're doing, but even then, maybe even then, there might have to be a disclaimer. They're like, Aldrine told me to change my strings like this, and my string popped out, whacked me in the eye, and now I'm like, oh no, I'm sorry. Like I don't. He said I could tune it up a whole step, is what he said. Like, so I bought soprano strings to put on my tenor, and I tuned it up by a whole step.
What?
Poke my eye out.
We can't call ourselves. I don't think we can call ourselves the most popular ukulele podcast on the internet. But
that's true. That's dang true.
When we rebrand, can we call ourselves the tastiest ukulele podcast?
Oh, okay. All right, maybe. For all your tasty ukulele needs.
And they can't prove it wrong, right? Because taste is objective. So
yeah, there you go. The tastiest ukulele pod. That's our tagline, right? Or that should be like a quote, like that you put in the like the Apple iTunes review or whatever. You make a review. That should be like the 5-star review. Just say it's the tastiest ukulele podcast available today.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, I've listened to a bunch of podcasts. I think a lot of ukulele podcasts are fine. We are one of the podcasts out there, but there's some fun ones. Abi has a really cool one. I think like the people from Denver ukulele community has like a podcast. Steve, yeah. What's that podcast called? Oh, Stu, not Steve. Stu.
Yeah.
What's that pod called?
Uktown
Podcast. I have been on it like a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Sorry, Stu.
You were just on it.
Just like the last one. But yeah, it's there's some great podcasts if you guys want to listen to those podcasts. But maybe not as tasty, right, Kai?
Yeah. It's not tasty, but
it's not as tasty.
You can't say it's the tastiest.
Yeah, what flavor is this podcast, Kai? What how would you describe the taste of this podcast?
What is like some
Lilikoi butter?
Does it have good mouthfeel?
I'm trying to think of words from like Willy Wonka that he says. What is it? The berries taste like berries.
Snozberries.
Snozberries.
Come on, man. Come on. Get your Willy Wonka references in order. You're part of this podcast, Kai. You've been here a long time.
My Sister Act 2 is all shined up and ready. I gotta get my Willy Wonka.
I always
ready.
told you, Kai, if you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, then you better wake up and pay attention.
I can't. I don't know the words to "Mary Had a Little Lamb."
Yo, Mary had a little lamb.
Feet as white as snow.
Fleece. Feet.
That's because
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to play the thing with you. It's fleece.
Your acting was just
it was too good, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
This is an ukulele.
This is an ukulele. I swear.
Podcast.
I swear. This is I swear, there's an ukulele podcast. Let's start talking ukulele, right, Kai? Let's go for it. What's our first question that we're about to answer right now? What's our cliffhanger question from last week?
Oh yeah.
Let's start with that.
That was your question, right, Aaron?
Oh yeah. So someone contacted me. They said that they're left-handed, but
right.
they've never played an instrument before, and they're learning ukulele for the first time. Like, do they need to learn the left-handed way? Do they have to restring their ukulele? What do you recommend for them to do?
What do I recommend for them to do? Okay, well, there's a few ways, and ultimately, like, the short answer is just do what's comfortable for you. That's the short answer. If you want to, if you want to pick up a right-handed ukulele, play it right-handed. If you're comfortable with that, go for it. If you pick up a right-handed ukulele, but then you play it left-handed like this, and that feels good for you, go for it. That's how my dad plays, like I'm not about to tell my dad that he's doing it wrong, but if you wanna, take a right-handed ukulele, switch the strings around, go ahead and do so, because you're not about to tell Jimi Hendrix that you can't do that, because that's what Jimi Hendrix did. He's a left-handed guitar player, took a right-handed guitar, just switched up the strings. And what I mean by switching up the strings from a right hand, point of view, it goes G, C, E, A, right? G, C, E, A. Okay. From a left hand's perspective, it's going to be A, E, C, G. But if you're playing it left-handed and you took the strings and turned it upside down, if you're holding it this way, and it's G, C, E, A. Okay, so you would do exactly what, exactly the same thing as a right-handed ukulele player will do. It might actually be easier for a left-handed player to switch out their strings and just kind of turn the strings upside down and play it left-handed. Not only will it feel natural for you as a left-hand player, but it's also easy to watch tutorials, because it's basically just mirroring tutorials. Like, tutorials are made for mostly right-hand players, if not all. I don't know if I've seen a left-hand tutorial. I'm sure there are, but it's kind of just like mirroring what they're doing. So it might even be easier in the long run. But ultimately, like I said, it's boils down to whatever you want to do. There's all these options for you, and the options are available to us right-handers too. If I wanted to play left-hand, nothing's really stopping me from doing that. Nothing's stopping me from flipping the strings around. And don't worry too much if you're just starting out and a beginner. Don't worry too much about the saddle is made for this, or don't worry. Just go for it. As long as the tension is correct and you're not taking the same G, C, E, A strings and then tuning them, just turning it this way and then tuning it like G, C, E, A. You're tuning your A string to a G and your C string to an E or whatever. As long as it's not that, or your E string to a C, I should say. As long as you're not doing that, as long as you're actually taking the strings out and either replacing the strings or installing the strings the opposite way, then you should be all good. Yeah.
I think.
What I told them was to learn it right-handed.
Oh yeah.
that
was the first thing I said. I'm like, if you want, you can learn it right-handed.
No, I mean,
totally up to you.
Just because there are so many more benefits to learning it right-handed. If you don't have any experience playing any instruments before, I would recommend.
Yeah, that's true.
Off the bat, that you don't have to do anything. You don't have to switch your strings. You don't have to worry about learning upside down or mirroring. You just learn it. And most teachers, if you get a teacher, they'll teach you, they'll be familiar with right-handed. They'll be able to teach you that way easier than
that's true.
It's harder to find left-handed teacher who teaches it where the strings are upside down, right?
Yeah.
They're holding
and
it.
then
That's pretty rare.
Yeah, all of the chord charts will be for right-handed players. All of the tabs will be for right-handed players.
Yeah.
All of the resources online will pretty much be for right-handed players. So it's just easier.
Yeah, because there's three main guys here at Ukulele on the Ground. It's myself, Aaron, and Ryan. I mean, Kahai, he's the main guy here too. But the three main owners of Ukulele on the Ground is Ryan is not here. Nobody really sees Ryan anymore. But Ryan is a left-hand guitar player, but he plays guitar. Also ukulele player. He plays ukulele too, but he plays his ukulele the regular way, right-handed. He just kind of forced himself to do that.
Kalei is a
Also,
left-handed.
Kalei is another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said,
he plays right-handed.
there's a lot of left-handed people who turn their strings around as well. Like Jimi Hendrix is one, and there's like my dad is another one who just kind of just plays it upside down. So there's all ways. But what Aaron said is definitely true. Like finding somebody to teach you left-handed is going to be a lot more rare than trying to learn it the regular way, because you're going to find regular right-hand players and right-hand teachers a lot easier. But if you're learning through tutorials and stuff, like I mentioned, because I've had people who have turned it the opposite way, who are on the private lessons, and some of them tell me that it's easier, and that's why I mentioned that, because it's just kind of like mirroring what they see online.
Yeah, there is a perception though that because I'm left-handed, it's gonna be easier for me to play a left-handed ukulele, but that's not necessarily true.
No.
Yeah,
like the amount of work you use with both your left and right hand is the same regardless of whether you're strumming with your left hand or you're holding chords with your left hand. So
because you're using both of your hands anyway. And if you're left-handed and you're playing it like the traditional right-handed way, then your left hand will be faster and you'll pick probably a lot faster. Yeah,
like Kalei
Kalei is like a good example.
And people probably would like do like counter argument to that, like, oh, doesn't my dominant hand need to be the one that speeds up or whatever? But at a certain point of your level, you're gonna have to learn how to be proficient with both your left and right hand.
Right? They work together.
Like it's kind of like a baseball player, right? There's lefties and righties, but then they're either catching with their left hand and throwing with their right, or catching with their right hand and throwing with your left. So both need to be dexterous in different ways with
True.
So it's kind of funny to me, because like I feel like guitar and ukulele and string instruments, a lot of adults, because if you give a kid an instrument, they're not going to care if they're left or right-handed, and they're just going to copy whatever they see first, right? So it's not a big deal to them. But adults have this like hang up of like, I'm left-handed, so I need to learn left-handed and stuff.
I am a left-handed person.
And it seems to be pretty common with string instruments. And I don't think I've heard like, drummers being like, somebody learning to play the drums and being like, well, I'm left-handed, so does my snare hand need to be closer here, or does
I've seen that too, where like people like will reverse their drum set if they're left-handed.
Like see that's the thing too, right? If you're like a left-handed drum player and you play that way, you have to switch around a whole kit. And the same thing with ukulele. If you're a left-handed player and you play left-handed, you can't play like 99% of you can't just pick up somebody else's ukulele and play it.
That's what I mentioned. My dad was a left-handed person who played it upside down, and that's the reason why he played it upside down,
so that he can play other people's,
he can play other people's guitars and stuff, because like he's a man from like a third world country. Like it's not like everyone had their own guitars, like one guitar for like 10 people, 10 of his friends or whatever.
The village guitar.
Exactly. and it's not like they're going to agree to him just tuning it upside down or whatnot. He just had to learn it upside down because he refused to learn it like right-handed. So he did it that way, and that was his excuse. Not excuse, but it was his reason.
But this lady said that she's left-handed, but she also does some things with her right hand. Okay. And when she held the ukulele, she could hold it comfortably either way. And so in that case, like, might as well learn it right-handed.
Might as well. Okay, well, if that's the case, if she's comfortable with both, it'll be like another Kalei kind of situation that you might actually be better like doing it that way because of your left hand. As far as like moving up the neck and stuff might be good. So it just depends, and I'll stick with my first answer of like whatever feels good for you. Like ultimately, it's your decision, whatever feels good for you. But if it feels good doing it the right hand, stick with it.
I would argue too that like if you're brand new, never touched an ukulele before, try not to go into it thinking like, I'm left-handed, it's gonna feel more comfortable if I hold it like this.
Yeah, it's gonna feel awkward either way.
It is.
So
because I mean, imagine for all of you beginners out there, imagine the first time you held your ukulele. You know, like it's not like you held it. And you're like, oh, I know exactly what to do with this. It's still like, oh, where do I put my fingers?
Yeah, weird. What part of my finger do I use?
Yeah, exactly.
How do I cradle it with my other arm?
We've also seen that, right, where people say like, I'm having such a hard time strumming. It must be because I'm left-handed and my right hand isn't as strong. And it's like, maybe, but there's just as much right-handed people who struggle with strumming as well too. It's a thing that, once you keep going, you kind of realize like, oh, it doesn't really matter what handed you are. And I would say like, kind of to sum it up to like, playing, if you're left-handed and you just play the way that most people play, you know, left hand is holding chords, right hand is strumming. That's easy because it has the most resources. If you play it like flipped over the other way, that's like where Aldrine was saying, like you can pick up somebody else's ukulele and just play it. And then the benefit of like swapping the strings is you can see what the other person is doing, right? And just copy the same finger positions as most tutorials online or video stuff. But then the downside of that is that you probably will always need to carry your own ukulele. Yeah. And you can never like, if you go to a jam
try this out.
Yeah, like, oh, I really like the sound of your ukulele. Can I try it out? Like you're either gonna have to know how to play a little bit of the, you know, like left-handed way, or you're gonna have to like flip it over like you're saying too.
And then, I mean, it's gonna be interesting because even if you're like, oh, you know, I guess I could just play it upside down and stuff, but like the down strum is gonna be like the up strum. It's all opposites.
I would say
tough.
If everything considered, just playing it right-handed is like the easiest plug and play way. Like if you learn it that way, it's so much easier for you in the long run.
So you're saying to just fall in line.
I mean, if you can. If you absolutely can't, then do it however it feels comfortable.
If there's, if you have like if you have something that you just feel like, I just cannot get this, then right.
But learning anything is brand, you know, it feels brand new every time you learn something. It's going to be a lot of work. So
depending, you know, I mean, not depending, but regardless of which finger you're more dominant with, you still have to put in this, you know, a huge amount of work, you know, to get proficient at it. Right? So hopefully that answers your question. We had some great discussion out of that. You know, we all had different things to say. Now, what does the audience have? Does the audience have any questions for us, Kahai? Before we move on to the emails, because I know people are live. There's like hundreds of thousands of people right now just waiting, you know, to ask us questions.
I know, like Renee and I think Rob were mentioned that like Barack Obama is left-handed, but he plays ukulele like, you know, the normal.
Barack Obama plays ukulele? I'm not into politics, so that's why you guys never hear anything about politics in this show.
and like kind of like if you learned ukulele here in Hawaii, the chances that maybe they changed it from when I went to school, but I remember I had a classmate who's like, I'm a left-handed. I need to play a left-handed ukulele. And the kumu like tried to get it. Like, no, just play it like this.
Yeah, because we have a cart of ukuleles. They're all tuned right-handed. I'm not gonna do one just for you.
Yeah,
there was one in my school.
Yeah.
Because the teacher was left-handed. And she did it that way.
But is the teacher gonna sacrifice her ukulele for some kid?
There was one. So and you can borrow it during recess time, and like that one, because it's like the school, you know, like lent her that ukulele. You could borrow that but not like during class time and stuff. But like in recess time you could.
I remember that classmate. He had like the hardest time though, because the teacher was like, if you're not gonna like give up, or you're, you know, if you're stuck on, you have to use it where you're chording with your right hand. Just take this regular ukulele and then flip all the charts upside down. And I remember him like, he struggled more because of that. So that is like,
it is harder to play the chords upside down, just because like the B flat would be really hard to do.
That's true. No, you could just you could just bar and then do stuff on the bottom, right? Like that. Like I mean, it just looks super weird.
Yeah,
but then again, I don't know. Every time I see I see like a mandolin player, I'm like, that's a weird way to play that chord. You know, like so.
It's kind of like you're probably more likely to learn how to bar earlier if you do flip it upside down, because a lot of the things you're gonna have to do is like either barring it or you're not gonna just hold like a couple strings. Yeah. Like that's what the standard tuning and like playing it right-handed is kind of made for. So,
any other live questions?
We had questions last week, so
okay, let's get to that.
Renee asked, "Do you always play a tenor?"
No, I don't always play a tenor. Here on the show, yes, but also no. Because I think I've explained this before. For Ukulele on the Ground, when we do the play-alongs, I record the play-alongs and then we record the video. But I record the audio first, and most of the time I do the audio, especially the rhythm part, I do those with sopranos or a super soprano. Now, I just uploaded a new video on my YouTube, and I was using a baritone ukulele in that video, and I was also using a super soprano and also a tenor. But I use a tenor only because I feel like it's an all-purpose ukulele for teaching uke, you know, like I have all the frets that I need. The sound is big, so if I'm like teaching, say, a bunch of kids in a classroom, this ukulele will cut through because it got such a big sound, and it's louder than say a soprano ukulele, and I've just kind of adapted through that because I used to perform with a concert ukulele. I had a concert uke until I got the applause, and when I got the tenor applause ukulele, that's when I started using tenors. But for the most part, I'm actually a big fan of concert ukes because concert ukes has the frets that I need, because back then like all sopranos were only 12 frets. I don't know when they started adding more frets to it, because back then I couldn't play. I was learning stuff, and I had a soprano uke, and I still had a soprano uke when I heard body surfing for the first time. I'm just like, I know what note that is.
It's higher than the note that I have, the highest note that I have.
And and I think that was around the same time where I bought the concert uke, just because like I was learning some Pure Heart stuff, I was learning some Kyle Crater Boy stuff, and I loved it. I love the sound of a concert uke because it's like I mentioned, it's got enough frets so that I can play all the songs in my library, but it's also still got that sweet, innocent ukulele, like small instrument sound that the ukulele should have. The tenor ukulele loses a lot of that innocence because it's got that bigger sound. It's closer to or like a tenor guitar would be. But tenor, as far as ukulele and teaching and performing, it's just like a good tool to use because it's got everything. It's got the big sound, and it's got the frets, like I was saying. It's easier to teach because it's like it's like a bigger uke. So when you're trying to be like, okay, well, this is our C chord and whatnot, so it looks a lot more clear, for people, especially people in the back of the room or whatnot. And I've just kind of adapted it into my teaching. So I like tenors, and a lot of my ukulele heroes have played tenors. Troy Fernandez, Jake Shimabukuro, like those guys all play tenors. So I was like, I guess I'll play tenor for my show. My show, it's I guess that's what people use. So I was just kind of influenced by that. But if I had it my way, I think I'd still be playing a concert if I wasn't like inspired by all these other guys. But Herb Ota plays a soprano, like a Martin soprano ukulele at his show.
You mean like Ota-san?
Ota-san, Ota-san, not Herb Ota Jr., but Ota Sr. plays a soprano. I think super soprano.
Is it?
I don't know, actually. There's a lot of frets on it though.
Oh, really?
Maybe it's like a regular soprano, but it's got like extra frets. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the Ota-san model for Kamaka is a super soprano, right?
Is it? I thought it was a super concert.
Super concert?
Yeah, because it's that
like
bell
that.
shape. It's definitely smaller than a tenor.
Yeah.
So like, and there's such thing as a like a grand concert size ukulele or grand. There's all sorts of sizes of ukulele. It's not just the 3 or 4 main sizes. There's ones in between there too, and it's one of the more like uncommon ones.
Yeah. I watched Coco over the weekend.
How was it? Did you cry?
Yeah, it was,
yeah, but no, let's not talk about that.
I was actually kind of laughing
Yeah.
for the movie because I
Nice.
was like, this movie is made for Aldrine.
I told you.
Yeah, 'cause, like when he's like he crawls into his little hidey space with his handmade guitar, and then
Yeah.
he's like playing along to VHS tapes. I'm like, oh my gosh, did they?
They patterned it after
hits
your
home,
life.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandma's name is Cecilia. Like my dad's name is Miguel. And you know, like it's just all kinds of.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. So when you're saying like, oh, I had a soprano and I couldn't go up the fret to play,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, that's like when he's like playing too, and he has to tune with like a plier to turn the string.
Have you seen Coco?
No,
Aaron?
I haven't.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That movie. What'd you think, Kahai?
Yeah, it was a good movie. I liked
Is
it.
it better than Wonder Woman 84?
I haven't seen it, but yeah, I think so.
I've heard that
sure.
movie was not that great.
I haven't seen it, and I don't think I need to see it. So yeah, I would just
Yeah.
say it is better.
Coco, if you guys have not, if you guys like animated films and don't mind crying in front of other people, or if you just want to watch it by yourself, like definitely Coco. It's a tearjerker. I love that movie. Soundtrack is awesome. The visuals are great. It's got like the brightest colors for a film that's supposed to be about the dead. It's kind of cool. I dig it. I dig it. And I like the philosophy that they have in there that you die 2 times. One when you die physically, and second time is when people stop talking about you or when people forget you. It's like, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. I'm gonna talk about you, Kahai, as long as I can. Okay, keep you alive as long as I can.
I'm gonna be like that old guy who's like holding the guitar when they go to the other side. Aldrine is forgetting me. Yeah.
Put you my ofrenda.
Oh, thank you. Oh.
Put you my ofrenda. It's cool. Cool.
Al is gonna be like, why do we have that guy? He's not even a part of our family.
Hey, you don't talk about your Uncle Kahai like that. or my great grandson is like, you don't talk about your great Uncle Kahai like that.
It'd be funny if it's like I can come back for Japanese Obon season, and then I can come back for Day of the Dead too, because 2 places.
But good stuff. If you guys haven't seen that movie, so good. My favorite Pixar movie, definitely my favorite Pixar movie. It used to be Up, my favorite Pixar movie, but it's definitely been surpassed by Coco. It's awesome. I couldn't put my recommendation any harder. It's that. There's one movie you watched this year. That one, Coco. All right. Anyway, question.
So Art has a question relating to your uke too.
Yes.
And he says, any reason you typically use your current ukulele for live classroom/jams as opposed to your signature model?
Very good question. There are various reasons, and the main reason is because I'm in front of a camera. The other ukuleles that I have that are in my signature series they're all glossy ukuleles. So when we film them, it's like they reflect and they're a little distracting, or like
you can see the camera.
Yeah, you can see the camera and stuff. So. And another reason is like I don't want to be too flashy or like look at this uke that I have that like that 99% of you, including myself, can't afford. Like I can't afford that ukulele myself. If they didn't make it and gave it to me and give it to me, I don't know if I could afford an ukulele like that. It's like it's pricey, and I acknowledge that. So I want to be able to showcase an ukulele that it does the job, and I want to be able to convey that no matter what ukulele you use, you can make good music out of it, and you can it's how you play it. Like I always live by that whole it's it's not I forgot the exact quote is, but a real a real master can paint a masterpiece with any paintbrush, really is what it is. So but mainly the main reason is because cameras, but yeah, also I don't want people to be like, oh, he only sounds good, he's only good because he's using that ukulele or whatever. No, that's not, like, I don't want people to ever think anything like that. Like, oh, like I can't play that song that he's teaching because I don't have the kind of ukulele that he has, And oh, thank you, Kahai, man.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
stop your stream.
Oh,
Also, your signature ukulele doesn't have fret markers on the front.
Yeah.
So
that's also, so this is basically what, this is a teaching ukulele. Myself and Joe Souza has collaborated to create this ukulele. This finish did not exist in the Kanilea line before we made this ukulele. Because the finish to this is called an e-silk. There's an e-silk ukulele, which is a silk finish, a nice in between a satin finish and a gloss finish, okay? This finish was first used by Kanilea on my neck. So the neck, all the neck profiles on all the Aldrine models have a silk neck to it. And it's like one of the first times that that Joe used it. It's I don't know if it's a secret or whatever, so I don't want to say what he does because he might get mad at me if I reveal what too much of what we do. But we kind of developed it together. So this is one of the things that we both collaborated on. Okay, because I wanted to, I didn't want a full satin, because if I had a full satin ukulele, if I did this, you guys would hear it because it's satin's gonna make all that noise, right? But I didn't want it to be too glossy either. So there's a nice little middle ground between gloss and satin. So Joel's like, what should we call this new finish? We got satin, we got gloss. I'm like, why don't we call it silk? Because that's it's like smooth as silk. And that's what I told him when I ran my fingers through the back of the neck profile of my my Aldrine model. So it's like silk. And I told him, can we just, the thing that you do for the necks, can we just build an entire, just do that for the whole ukulele instead of just the neck? And he's like, I don't see why not. So thus the e-silk was born. Yeah. A lot of people don't realize how much stuff me and Joe kind of collaborated with for Kanilea ukulele as well. We made a lot of stuff together, and this is definitely one of the coolest things that we've done. Yeah, it's meant to kind of look just like, you run the mill Kanilea uke, but it's so much more. And honestly, this is no cap. This is one of the best sounding ukuleles that I own. Mm-hmm. That's and Kahai and Aaron will attest to that. That D-shaped sound hole ukulele that came by here and stuff, it sounds good, but this honestly sounds better.
Yeah, who's to say if in 10 years how they'll both sound? Mm-hmm. I have a feeling though that as this one ages more, right, it's just gonna get better and better. So it's kind of
this honestly sounds better. That's just my I really dig this ukulele. I like how it sounds, and I like that it's simple because it's one of those unassuming kind of ukes where you don't think it's gonna sound as good as it actually sounds. But and since I don't really let this thing out of here, out of the office, I don't get to destroy it in my car or on the road or anything like that, or performances. So it really just stays here, and this is mainly just a teaching ukulele, and nobody really gets to try it either. So it's tough to be you gotta hear this. It's the best sounding ukulele I have. But I wish people would be able to hear it, but it's tough without this leaving the office.
So Rob asked, what model is that one?
This is, it doesn't even have it on because it was a prototype that we had. But this is the Kanilea ebony fingerboard e-silk tenor. Yeah, this e-silk.
I think now you just gotta order a
K1 or
a K1,
tenor K1,
put e-silk on it.
E-silk finish.
Yeah. Before they used to have a specific where you just select that one, but then now it's all custom shop stuff. So.
Yeah. So that's really what it is. One of the best sounding ukes that I have. I think the people that were at the retreat, because I was using this uke, or was I using my my custom ukulele?
I think you had that one.
Yeah,
at the retreat for most of the time. Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys remember the people that went to the retreat. I don't know if you guys remember. This thing cuts through. If I was playing it in front of that room that we were all at, you guys could hear it from the back. Yeah, it's a good sounding ukulele.
When everybody's kind of playing all together, and then you're leading everybody, you can hear your ukulele come out. So and I think when we got that one too. There's a lot of comments, right? We kind of started seeing comments oh, he only sounds like that because he has a custom ukulele.
Yeah, so that's true.
No,
yeah.
The ukulele is nice, but we don't want it to feel like that. And I think even when the talk started, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think didn't Aaron ask you like, oh, can you ask them for an Islander ukulele?
Mm-hmm.
So like an even, it's not bad ukulele, but like an even cheaper ukulele.
Yeah.
So people
more
would
affordable.
Yeah. Because even this ukulele behind me right here is a low G ukulele, but this is a satin. I believe this. Yeah, this is satin finish ukulele. So the less finish that you have on your uke, actually, the better and louder it sounds, in my opinion. This is another one of like the best sounding ukes that I have. It's like, honestly, if let's take a listen to this. So you hear that. Let's play this ukulele unplug. Can I unplug this?
Yeah, give me a sec to just mute that channel. Yep.
Okay, let me unplug this. Or you can just mute the channel, I guess, right? I can just keep it plugged in. Okay, so I'm gonna play this ukulele just so you guys can pick it up here. It's a beautiful sounding uke unplugged, and this doesn't even have a plug-in there.
Yeah.
So,
but it's low G too, so.
Even if I don't play that low G, I'm gonna mute that low G. It's a monster. This thing is a beast of a sound monster. I think this is, and I brought this today because we're doing our songs today, the songs that we wrote. This is I've shown this before. This is the Ola Ka'aina 20th anniversary ukulele. Very rare, unavailable. It's only mine. Yeah, only mine, and maybe like 15 other people. They have one, but that's mine. 1 of 15. I think. I'm guessing. I don't know if Honoka, Azita, and Jody got one for their track. So in that case, maybe Mike should have one too, because Mike was in that track for Ola Ka'aina. But yeah, those are the reasons why I use this ukulele and not my custom. And not because I don't like my custom or whatever. I love my custom, but for teaching, this one, hands down, the best. Doesn't have to be fancy. And and my students or my former student Matt even took it a step further. So he got that fancy uke, but he got like the numbers on his fretboard and stuff.
For teaching.
And it's satin finish. So I'm like, see, good on you, Matt. See, now you're learning. Now you're learning. But yeah, that's basically the point. And to just show that a run of the mill like K1, it's not even a K2. It's not even like that. I mean, I guess like this is curly-ish, but this looks like one of their K1s. Don't ask about the green thing.
Yeah, I think it was like a K1 at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. This. Yeah.
Another question that we had last week is Brett asked, "Do you have any lessons geared towards kids?"
Ooh. We definitely have kids taking lessons here on Ukulele Underground, but as far as lessons specifically for kids, that's gonna have to be a project that that we have to work on, that is like specifically targeted for kids. I don't know. I feel like I'm a little scary to some kids. Like maybe like you find somebody that looks a lot friendlier, and less sarcastic. But I would love to do some kid centric or those kind of lessons that are typically made for children. Now that I have a kid of my own and stuff, I don't know if I'd have her watch like a regular Ukulele Underground just because it's like dad says things.
Well, it depends like what what age of kid.
That's true. Yeah, because we got people like maybe I shouldn't name names, but we got people that are like 5 years old that are learning with us and they're doing well. It's not like
I think we have quite a few
bunch,
around like 10 and so and whenever some parent says like, "Oh, can my kid learn from your site?"
Yeah,
I send them to Ukulele 100, and I know like a lot of them come back and they're like, or a lot of parents go like, "Oh, my kid has been doing Ukulele 100 and they've done all the lessons. Should we join or something?"
Yeah.
So we don't gear the lessons towards kids, but I don't think they're
appropriate. Like,
it's not prohibitive.
That's what I was gonna say. Like all joking aside, I'm constantly joking, but all joking aside, all the content on Ukulele Underground is appropriate. There's nothing, you know, we've never done any kind of like inappropriate lesson, or we've said stuff, even here on Thursday Live, like I don't think we've ever like had any foul language or whatever, you know. Or
we even censored Sublime.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, and that's a big no-no.
Yeah,
you know, but I had to talk about wrestling instead.
Yeah, we did a Sublime cover.
Yeah, that had a lot of expletives in there.
So
and,
it's,
you know, so this show has always been appropriate for children, and although it's not geared towards children, it's appropriate for children. So if you want, you know, kids to watch the show or to watch any of the tutorials, feel free to do so. I know families that like listen to this show, right? Like just sit around and watch, maybe not listen, like watch the show and stuff.
Yeah, and families who play along to the jams.
Yeah,
too,
to the jams. Yeah, so it's appropriate.
I think even if when we make kid content too, I don't think we would like talk down or like, you know, make it like okay.
Okay, children.
Yeah, like we're gonna. Just
But
do this.
I do want to make stuff like that where it's, you know, like it's clearly like a children's like ukulele class. I would love to
dress up like the Wiggles.
I need a belt. I need that belt, you know, like wiggle belt that they have. Yeah, that would be cool. But you know, like I want to do something like that. I don't know. I have to find the right person because it can't be me. Like I don't think I can get into that mindset of like, hey, children, let's, you know, like I can't like that. I can't even do it with my own kid. You know, like I try to do it now, and she's like, "Dad, just stop." Like you guys, just.
And then the cool thing too about like there are kids that are UU Plus subscribers or their parents sign them up. And then they come to you with the songs that they want to learn.
Yeah.
Because like we're terrible at figuring out what kids want to learn. So like if they just tell you, then that's a lot easier.
And I'm surprised by like some of the stuff that they ask me to do. I'm like, how do you even know that song sometimes, you know? And sometimes I'll get songs that I'm like, I've never heard that. It must be, you know, something new, and you know, and it is. So it's cool. It's always appropriate. You know, even with the private lessons and stuff, especially for the private lessons, I can gear it more towards like whatever age you are, like big or small. Yeah.
I think and like there's like some comments talking about. People are saying like, oh, you guys are very friendly and it's never, you know, it's very easy to watch and stuff. But like,
I just don't think education sites should be inappropriate. Like that's just one. But that's just me. But I don't know. I guess I've learned from some inappropriate education sites.
Like, I think too, parents sometimes like we get questions because Jim said, go on, add Lava and Maui. And I guess there are kids who want to learn those songs too. But I feel like a lot of times it's adults who think like, oh, that's appropriate for my kid.
Kids want.
Because like we have kids who come to live coaching and then we're like, why do you want to learn this song? This is such an old song, but it's like, this is awesome that you want to learn. We're so excited to teach you this stuff.
I had a kid come into and they got to be under 10 years old, and they wanted to learn Tears in Heaven. I'm like, that's such a heavy song for like someone that's like under 10 years old, but whatever. I'll teach
that's
whatever
so
you want.
cool.
It's super cool, but it's a very heavy song. And so we were like transposing it to like a more friendlier key, you know, for the little kid. But like, I was surprised. I was like, they like honestly wanted to learn outside. They like that song. I thought it was just gonna be like their their parents like trying to be like, oh, you should learn this. You can play it for whatever your uncles and aunties. Like they wanted to do it. I was so surprised.
I think we can, because we've talked about her before. But didn't Hamsini, like when she jumped in, she was like, I just want to learn solos already. Like I'm kind of like past like songs made easy and stuff. And so she like the first time she played whatever solo song for you, and you're like, yeah, you're doing good already.
I mean, it's it always fills me like inside to see how much people have improved like throughout the years that we've been doing these private lessons that here on Ukulele Underground. Because back then, before the private lessons, we would just be like, okay, well, I think, you know, people are improving. You know, we got this whatever 30-day system thing that people can watch if they want to improve, like practice sessions and whatnot. But until the private lesson started, it wasn't like I didn't really see, too much progress from people in person, kind of thing. But now that I've been doing it, it's just like, man, that is so cool. Like and I've been adding more and more, slots for private lessons, and I can kind of see people more often, and people are coming like on a regular basis. It's been really, really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so let's ask one last question, but we're not going to answer it. We're going to leave it as a cliffhanger, and then we're going to move on to our songs for the songwriting challenge.
Okay.
Go ahead, Kai. Ask the last question.
So this is the first question of the Ukulele podcast, right?
Ukulele on the Ground. The Ukulele on the Ground podcast with a capital H.
In the TH? Yeah, okay.
Ukulele on the Ground podcast.
So Chris and Six asked, can you discuss radius fretboards?
Okay. We will. On the very first episode of the Ukulele on the Ground podcast. We sure will.
Yeah. Oh, Kevin had a question earlier too, but we'll try to get to that after.
Okay, sounds good. All right. So here on Thursday live lesson, we have a thing called the songwriting challenge. So we put out some parameters, and you guys write songs based on those parameters. And we either give you guys like a key to do, to write the song in, or a chorus to write a song in, or a theme to write a song in. But this for this challenge, basically our rules were, Kahai?
Just write a theme song for a show.
This show. Or whatever show you want. Yeah, this show or whatever show you want. Yeah.
The bonus was for this show specifically.
Yes.
Yeah.
We did have bonuses. What are the bonuses?
It was only that, I think. And then you gave like a suggested chord pattern.
Yeah.
So
what was the suggested chord pattern?
I believe it was 1 2 4.
1 2 4 5.
No, it was 1 2 4 1. I think. Huh. Whatever. What is it? How can I get over?
Oh yeah. That is 1 2 4. Mm-hmm. Okay. Nice. So that's the parameters for this songwriting challenge. So we all wrote songs, but for you guys, it's due in a couple weeks. It's not due next week for them, is it? Yeah, a couple weeks. Because we really only had 1 week to do this. I think we set this challenge last week, and we're doing it today. We usually do 2 weeks. For us, it's due for 2 weeks. But since next week is the Ukulele on the Ground podcast, where the name change is happening, we need a brand new theme. So our mission was to write a theme song. Okay, now. Let's see. I'll go first. So this is mine. I wrote it on this, but I almost kind of forgot it. But I do. Hey, Kai, can you hand me my phone? That's in the over by the yes. I don't want to say. Okay. I don't want to reveal too much about this office. It's on the table. Right? Is that on the table?
No.
Oh, never mind. No. It's right next to me. What am I doing? I just made Aaron get up for nothing. So I actually wrote 2 songs. Okay, one with lyrics and one with no lyrics. So here's the one with lyrics, because we probably will get sued like using this song for our podcast. So here we go. On Kauai, we do the podcast live. On Thursdays, Ukulele Underground records the podcast live. On Kauai, we do a podcast live. On Thursdays, Ukulele Underground records the podcast live. Kahai's on the board, so it always sounds clean. Send all your questions for Aaron and Aldrine. We're talking you, but sometimes Nick tunes too. Whatever questions you get, you know what for do. On Kauai, we do a podcast live. On Thursdays, Ukulele Underground records the podcast live. On Kauai, we have a podcast live. On Thursdays, Ukulele Underground records a podcast live. Yeah. See? How's that?
So, why would he get in trouble? What was that song supposed to sound like?
Le Nani.
It's Hawaiian.
Yeah, because island style is it's a multi-layer joke. Okay, you're gonna have to forgive me because I'm going to have to listen just really quick to what I had recorded because I had it recorded just to remind me of what it sounds like. Okay, goes like this. Got it. I just needed that first few.
This
is the actual song. Okay, I'm going. One, So that was my theme. I wanted to keep things like how the old theme was, because the old theme goes. So I basically just kind of played off of the old theme. The new theme is kind of like that, but in a brand new key, and it's got a new groove to it. So there's my Ukulele on the Ground podcast theme. Short, because it has to be kind of short, I guess. You can make it long, however, whatever you think. Yeah. That's fine. All right, so next up. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. Yeah.
We should have the first episode be that island style one.
Maybe we can do that for the video opening, and then we can do for the actual recorded podcast, right? We'll have something else. So
okay.
It's Aaron has my computer, so it's opening theme on the desktop.
Okay.
There's two. There's like I don't know if the other one's called closing theme.
Yeah.
I actually made
Ooh, you made two also?
Yeah. Maybe you can make it 75.
Oh, okay.
Should be good. Yeah.
That's good. Opening theme.
Ooh.
Nice. That was like a kablam.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's cool.
And then
that's cool.
he has a closing theme too.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Let's see.
Yeah. Because every good anime has an opening and closing theme. That sounds like, all right, children. What did we learn today? Like episode's been brought to you by the letter and the number. This. Where's that from, Kai? Tell us about the closing and opening theme that you made.
So the opening, I started making the opening first, and it's exactly like Aaron said. I had like
Kablam.
very much Kablam and two-tone army, and I tried to make it energetic. I thought like that might be a fun opening, like trying to make it like sound like. And I was even thinking about like, I don't know if I would do the voiceover or find somebody who has like that nice smooth voiceover, but being like live from like trying to recreate the Kablam theme. But so it's
one of those moments that I miss Greg White. I think Greg would have been perfect. You know. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
I did that one first, and then I was kind of in the middle of like arranging the horn section, and it just wasn't coming out. So I just recorded the second one. And the second one, it wasn't a closing theme originally, but I was like, well, what if I kind of bring it down and then maybe think about more like, oh, this is a show that like, you know, almost like this is our NPR show to help you guys learn ukulele. You know, kind of make that kind of opening where it can be playing and then it's like kind of on a softer volume, and then we'd be like, on this episode we talk about this, you know, in the foreground. So and
or if you'd like to support the show, sign up for UU Plus.
Yeah.
At ukuleleunderground.com.
And then that's what came out. And then when I listening back to it, I was kind of like, I think this is like more. I could probably put this more at the end or something if it'd fit better. So
it's very like Mr. Rogers, like, you know.
Both of them, I tried to make it like it's just like it's repeating chords, right? And it's just one thing. So I tried to keep it short and keep it very much like it can be just a 20-second opener or something.
Yeah.
I like that you kept the
I wanted to in the same way I kind of wanted to keep that same feeling of the original opening. So
all right, here.
Okay. Let's see if this comes out. I've got a question that's been burning a hole and rolling around in my head. Would you take a second to consider my thoughts and what we ought to make of this mess? Because 3 heads are better than one. I'm open to discussion, and when we are done, I know we'll find the answer together.
Yes. Any of these, I'd be happy with any of these. Oh man, so good.
So that was like, because like I was thinking of like when I think of theme songs, I think of like classic '90s sitcoms. So that was like Family Matters, kind of like in that vein, or like Randy Newman, like kind of Toy Story-ish.
I was thinking Toy Story. That's my first thought.
But I was thinking Family Matters.
Family Matters.
You had that like
and even that chord too. That it goes There must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls.
Oh man, so good, so good.
But it was pretty much that. I was thinking of like kind of Step by Step and Growing Pains theme is I was imagining us like doing, they have the montage of each of us, and then they have
polishing the car.
And then they look at the camera.
Oh man. So good. I miss 90s sitcoms, guys. We have to add that to our, to our list of things that we talk about in this show. Nicktoons and 90s sitcoms. Just 90s things in general. All right, so you guys have heard our songs. That's basically what you can do with the parameters of the songwriting challenge. So feel free to write your own song, and all the people who have submitted songs, we'll put it in a wheel, and whoever the wheel lands on, it's going to be a random thing. We'll gift you an extra private lesson. So this is a what do you call? It's a non-expiring private lesson. So usually private lessons are 2 a month and they don't carry over, but you can have 3 private lessons for whichever month that you want to choose. Okay, so just let us know, or let me know. Just when you sign up for a private lesson, just say, this is going to be my 3rd private lesson or whatever, and I think some people want it before. That's our prize for this time. Please write your song, submit it, and you never know, we might use your intro for one of the episodes, right, Kahai? You just never know. You just never know.
So who said it? Rob said when Aaron was playing my song, he said, I think you should use Kahai's for a change up, but if we get some, if they're appropriate and we can use it like from you guys and you're okay with it, we could maybe like just, kind of change the theme every so often too. So yeah.
Sounds good. I'm down with that, but just use the same ending theme every time. Or if someone wants to write an ending theme, that's cool too. I'm open to whatever. It's all about the community. What the Ukulele on the Ground podcast community wants to do.
That'll be our next songwriting challenge. Write a closing theme now. Write an opening theme, and now we write.
I think we can rely on our billions of listeners, right, Kahai? We are billions at this point.
Yeah.
I saw we were at like 900 million last time. I think we tipped over to the 1 billion mark. Yeah,
I think so.
We're super popular. People love us
because we're
Please
the
love us. Please.
Well, we're the tastiest. We're the tastiest of all the podcasts. So
you know what I mean? Like that's steak. I feel like I've had the tastiest steak, but people hate on steak all the time, especially vegetarians. But just because we're the steak, or at least Kahai is the steak of this group, doesn't mean he gets as much love as he deserves, right, Kahai? So Kahai, please. Tip Kahai over to the billion mark. I think we might have 990 million subscribers to this podcast. I think if you guys could find 10 million friends, please, to subscribe to this podcast so that we could finally get that 1 billion, Yeah. I think that would be great. Right? Can we have a push campaign?
Yeah. On a related serious note, there was somebody in the forum asking how they should submit their songs for songwriting challenges. Yeah, and you can submit it in the forum. Like, we would love to see you actually playing it, or you recording it or something. But if you don't want to do a video, you can do audio too, and you can even just I told the person you can just send it to us at this address. So yeah, it's questions@ukuleunderground.com.
That's right. I'm doing this, and the podcast people are like, I don't know what words.
The listeners.
There is a video version of those podcasts. If you are an awesome podcast listener, you can also watch us just be silly and do our thing over on the Ukulele Underground YouTube, where Kahai posts up all the replays of the Ukulele Underground podcast. I think we can. It's 2:00. I think we can safely call it the Ukulele on the Ground podcast now and say goodbye to Thursday Live Lesson. How about one last send-off to Thursday Live Lesson, guys? Let's just give it up for Thursday Live Lessons. This is the very last episode of Thursday Live Lessons. Kahai, remember when you told me 5 years ago that on the last Thursday Live Lessons, on the very last episode of Thursday Live Lesson, you were going to sing a song, remember? Remember you told me that? Like...
You probably forgot. It was 5 years ago.
You probably forgot. It was like a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't see it in my contract, so...
Close it out. No, it was just kind of like a conversation that we had. You know what I mean? We were having a heart-to-heart talk. I was opening myself up to you about like my, some personal things. About like, I don't know if I should get this uke or that uke. It was a very personal conversation that we were having. You're like,
what they say, right? You know what they say, dude? Get a prenup. If you want something, get a prenup.
Get it in writing.
Come on.
Yeah, remember when you were saying that you're gonna do something special for? You're like, man, we're gonna go out with a bang and I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna sing Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. Remember when you said that?
It's like Coco. It's too bad that there's a second death after you forget about something.
Also, the second death of this show. When people stop talking about Thursday Live Lesson,
it seems like that memory needs a first birth first before it can have a second death. So,
all right, guys. On that note, we'll see you folks next time on the Ukulele Underground podcast. Is there anything else we want to say before we go?
Yeah, I think we want to mention that next week, after the podcast, it's not going to be normal, right?
Yeah, after the Ukulele Underground podcast next week is going to be an open mic. So open mic is next week, Thursday, after the Ukulele Underground podcast. Keep your eye out on our Instagram and Facebook for more details, and also on Ukulele Underground Plus. We'll have the details in there and a link where you guys can go if you want to participate in the Ukulele Underground open mic, or if you want to just watch. All the details will be on the site. But basically, you just kind of log log into the Zoom room or log in if you want to, if you want to join in, if you want to sing and stuff, log into the Zoom room and we can help you get set up with that. It's as easy as how the private lessons work. Basically, you just kind of go in the room and we'll feature you in. Kahai will, we'll do that. And if you want to just watch, there'll be like a feed, right, that they can just watch.
Not for this first one.
Yeah,
this first
so
one.
you'll just log into the Zoom room and
log into
just
the
say
Zoom
that
room,
you're
I
not
guess.
going to perform.
Yeah, super easy.
Yeah,
right.
we want to see if our internet can handle the Zoom room first, and then maybe we can do a Zoom and feed next time. But for right now,
it barely made it through this one. It cut out halfway. So
yeah, don't worry. We'll have enough paper clips and rubber bands for next week to hold it all together.
So it's gonna be after the podcast, and then you can join probably around like 2:20, we'll say, but then the official start of it will be 2:30. Well, we're aiming for 2:30.
Yeah, next week Thursday at 2:30, open mic, Ukulele Underground. Once again, keep your eyes out on Ukulele Underground Plus. You'll have we'll have the details, the information, and the link in there. Also, we'll post something up on Instagram. Okay, see you folks next time. Have a great one. Aloha. Thanks for listening.